Hi there. I hope that you, my friend, you are doing fine. Welcome to the CEO podcast. This is Kazungu Duncan, and I just hope that you are doing fine, and hope that you're also enjoying my podcasts. And so, if you haven't watched any of my podcasts yet, you can find links in the description where you can now be able to watch my podcasts. And so today I just felt like talking about the fuel shortage in Kenya and basically try to understand what's happening and how it is affecting us as Kenyans. And so most of us can assume that it's affecting those who deal with transportation. And so we are talking of those who do boda and those who do matatu. But you find by extension it is affecting us in one way or the other, and maybe in a bigger way that maybe we haven't realized yet. And so first of all, it is so much bad to have such a situation. I don't remember when last we had fuel shortage in Kenya. I think it was long ago, if I can remember. And so this is one of the disasters that has really derailed us, our economy, and it is really affecting us. And so in this podcast, we shall just be trying to find out what is really happening and how can we, overcome this maybe in the near future. And so, first of all, we are told that it is only in Total petrol stations where you get fuel. And if I'm wrong, you will correct me in the comments below. And so you find some petrol stations like Ruby's will tell you we are running out of fuel, so we don't have petrol, we don't have diesel, and so it is only Total that can offer this. And so this results to a lot of people congesting in one petrol station to just get a service, and most of them are queuing long lines to just hope to get a little bit of the petrol, because one, the petrol prices have gone high, and two, you are not able to get the amount that you want. Even if you wanted such maybe 3 liters and you find that 1 liter is at 135, you find that it is so hard for you to afford the 3 liters, especially for those who are doing boda. And so what is not really happening? How comes there is only fuel in Total petrol stations and not other petrol stations? So is it that cartels are running this business? Is it that it is being done intentionally so that they can hype up the fuel prices? Is it that they are in need of finding a lot of money or getting a lot of money from us Kenyans so that they can do their business? Is it something that has been made up, or is it something that is natural? And so when I asked myself this question, it forced me to go ahead and research where we get our fuel from. And I realized that we are getting fuel from United Emirates, we are getting it from Saudi Arabia, we are getting it from Belgium and from Kuwait. And so some of us were saying, or some thought that it is because of the fight between Ukraine and Russia that is causing the shortage in fuel. But then the countries that I've mentioned, I haven't mentioned Ukraine, I haven't mentioned Russia. So what is really happening? What is really happening? And then we find that Kenya and Uganda get fuel from the same places. But then there is fuel in Uganda and there is no fuel in Kenya. How is that possible? These are some of the questions that we are asking ourselves, and sometimes we lack answers. And then you see a politician now goes on TV or on camera and says that he is blaming the other team. Okay, I don't believe this is the time that we should be blaming so and so. you find that these politicians are in office. They are in active office. They can write a proposal, or they can try to bring up something that will make this become so easy for us. And so us, or politicians coming and saying that we have some cartels who are running this business, and we really or the government is not sure of where the fuel shortage is coming from, then that is something wrong. Because I don't feel at this moment we as okay, for those of you who are politicians, should come and say we are blaming so and so. What are some of the things that you are doing to make sure that this is being resolved? Because you blaming one another doesn't help us. Your cars are being fueled by the government, and so you don't really feel the pain of purchasing fuel, and so you are driving on fuel on full tanks and all that. But as we see boda people, now that there's a long line, somebody decides to remove the fuel tank, go with it in the petrol station to just get fuel, to avoid just taking the motorbike, because it doesn't have fuel, so you have to take it by yourself. And so he decides to take off the fuel tank so that he can go and get fuel. And so a message to politicians: let us avoid blaming one another. Let us truly speak about what is not happening, and let us address that issue very fast. And so, and this has also come that now the transport fare has increased. And yesterday I was talking to friends of mine who are dealing with boda, and they were saying there's no fuel. They are from Kakamega, right? And so they are saying that there is no fuel, to a point that they have to double or even triple the transport from one place to another. So for example, if from Shinyalu sub-county to, let me say Shinyalu market to Kakamega is, normally it is 100 shillings. So today it is either 200 or 250. Some of them will even charge you up to 300. You can imagine you are doubling the fare. From Shinyalu to Kaega is usually 50 shillings. But then today as I speak, from Shinyalu to Kaega is either 100 or 150. And so you find that the change in the prices of fuel has affected the normal mwananchi. Those who use motorcycles as their mode of transport, they find it so hard because the prices have gone high, and so they have to pay either double the price or triple the price. So how will it affect the other person? If you are saying you are there, you don't board boda, but then assume that this person who is boarding boda is moving from Kaega to Shinyalu on a market day, and they want to sell tomatoes, they want to sell onions, they want to sell cloth, and they have paid triple or double the amount of fare that they usually pay. What do you think this person will do? Now, if this person was selling 2 tomatoes 10 shillings, they will sell 1 tomato at 20 shillings to just try and cover up whatever they have lost. All right. If this person used to sell a piece of cloth or maybe say a blouse, they used to sell it at a mutumba price, say 50 for ladies. Then he pays triple the fare that he was supposed to pay. Then this person, when he comes to sell, he has to either triple that very price. Otherwise, he's going to make a loss. And so if he was selling at 50 shillings, he may end up selling the same blouse at 150 or even at 200 shillings. So that is how the chain moves. It is from the the unknown to the known. So some of us say that, maybe it's not affecting me, prices are going high, but then we are not looking at what really is happening. And so this is affecting all of us, whether you are using the transport or whether you are just a consumer. Then you have to be sure that you are being affected. And so the cost of transport has gone high and the cost of living is now going high. Okay. Also in Nairobi, where I used to go from where I am to town is normally 30 shillings. But yesterday but one, when I boarded the matatu, I was asked to pay 100. And that is when I felt this thing is real. It is not just in Kakamega or Bungoma or Uasin Gishu. It is also happening in Nairobi, where you find that now from 30 bob to 100 shillings, that's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. So it is truly affecting us. And so as politicians, do not blame one another. We know you can try to move, parliament, topics to go and increase some stuff, increase your salaries, increase your allowances. But why can't you now try to help us as Kenyans? You can move those, talks in Senate, in Parliament, especially Parliament, because Parliament is the one that is, implementing these things. So why can't you raise this issue and talk about it? Talk about it. See what you can do, right? For us who are just, trying to survive here and there. And I remember watching another video, and the person was saying, sometimes it is so hard to live in Kenya. And I was talking also to my friend, a friend of mine yesterday, and he was telling me, I wish this thing of living could be different, such that you can take people who think the same way and go and form your own country and live there. Because he was hearing a politician blaming the other politicians, and yet he himself is in the team. And he was saying, I wish I could just go away and live in a different world or a different country on my own, and just leave Kenya. And you can see this is something that is so serious. I didn't take it for granted because I felt the pain that this person was saying, and he was saying that he is not going, he doesn't know when he will ever love politics, because politics has turned to politricks, which has turned to something else. Now, today, the president, His Excellency Uhuru Kenyatta, has signed 34.4 billion shillings for fuel subsidy. And so we are hoping that this is going to help. But I don't know how you feel about this. Let me know down in the comments below. He signed 34.4 billion shillings for fuel subsidy, just to see that fuel is being taken to all over Kenya, so that people are not lacking or there is no shortage of fuel. Do you think that this will help? And do you think that the fuel prices will go low? Do you also think that the transport fare will a bit go to normal? Let me know down in the comments below how you feel about this. And if you're watching this podcast and maybe you are a border person, or you are a matatu person, let me know how you feel about this. Has this affected you in one way or the other? Because I want to really see, is it really true, or it's just affecting a few people? You also want to learn from you, so that we see how you are feeling and how this is affecting you, because it is from you that now it is affecting us. And all over Kenya, people are, going through a lot. So if you are in the transport sector and you're watching this video, please be sure to drop me a comment. And if you're also listening to this podcast and you have a say, or you want to say something about this, just drop me a comment. I'll be so very glad to see your comments. But we hope that now the president has signed the 34.4 billion shillings to just come and help, then we believe it's going to work. But if it is true that it is cartels who are running this thing and they just want to, siphon money from us, then that is very wrong. That is very wrong, and I will support my friend that sometimes you feel like not living in Kenya, because what you're going through, sometimes you ask yourself, are we really living in Kenya? I've been listening to news and I've heard people lament. People are saying, I wish I was not born in Kenya. People are saying that we have never seen such a thing since maybe the time of Kibaki. And so you find that people have now started regretting the reign of His Excellency Uhuru Kenyatta. And so that's why we say that when we are doing elections, when we choose leaders who are, greedy, leaders who just want to have it all for themselves, then we are killing ourselves. And so as we move closer to elections, let us make wise decisions. I know it is hard to really get a leader who is 100% perfect, and I'm not saying there is one who is perfect, but let us at least make decisions of voting in a very, very keen manner. Because if we just choose anyhowly, these people will go there and they will start passing rules and just amending things that will affect us in the long run. They will not go and amend laws or rules that are in favor of us, but they will do things that are in favor of them. So as much as we are voting and electing these people, let us also have the mind of a normal Kenyan in our heads. So I'm not speaking of any political party, I'm not speaking of any political leader, but you go yourself and check yourself. Because I've also seen people fighting and they're saying, now this team should not come to Kisumu, or this team should not come to Uasin Gishu. This is what should stop, right? We don't want to go back to where we were in 2007, 2008. We don't want that. And it starts by me and you, because the politicians will not come here and start fighting. They will never. In fact, they'll go share a meal, talk, and when they leave each other, they go on Twitter and start talking this rubbish. But us who are fighting are the ones who are suffering. So it starts with me and you to decide to be Kenyans who are patriots, right? So let's spread the gospel of peace, and so that these things should not happen. So I'm so glad that you've been here and listening to me, and I hope that you've got something from this podcast. But it is our cry that we present to the government. Please try and lower the fuel prices, lower the gas prices, so that a normal Kenyan can be comfortable to live here. And so as we are nearing elections, we need things to move swiftly. And so please try and be helpful. Sometimes we ask ourselves so many questions, that why is it that ballot papers can reach to very interior places during elections, but then we cannot have health services in those places. We cannot have good roads in those places. We cannot have just basic needs in those places. But then when you need election or you need to be voted in, you will make sure that the ballot papers have reached there. You'll make sure that people are there who are organizing everything. Why can't you do the same when we are in need? So it has hit us so hard. The fuel prices have hit us. The transport fares and increments in the transport fare has hit us. And it is our cry that you listen to us and you also be useful to us. And If you want to see more of these podcasts, all you need to do is to hit that like button and also to subscribe with the notifications on so that you don't miss any update whenever we upload. Otherwise, this has been Kazungu Duncan, just speaking about fuel shortage in Kenya, and I believe that you've got value from this podcast. Otherwise, I'm hoping that I will see you in our next podcast. Until then, remember to keep creating.